Signs of people without character. Avoid at all costs. In a world where appearances often overshadow essence, have you ever wondered what truly defines a person's character? How many times have we encountered smiles hiding dubious intentions or words that, while sweet, carry the venom of falsehood? In our journey through daily interactions, it's crucial to learn to discern the true nature of those around us. But how can we do this? How can we look beyond the masks and see what really lies in people's hearts and souls? Today, let's explore together the revealing signs of people without character, those subtle hints that, once understood, can protect us and guide us in our quest for authentic and genuine relationships. Get ready for a journey that will not only illuminate your perception of others, but also invite you to reflect on your own values and principles. Before we start, leave a character in the comments to show that you're part of this Stoic journey. Now let's begin with the first sign, the social chameleon. Imagine yourself in a colorful garden filled with flowers of all species and colors, each with its unique beauty and fragrance, which together create perfect harmony. Now, imagine if one of those flowers changed its color, shape, and scent, not to adapt to the seasons or the climate, but to fit the expectations of every garden visitor. This is the essence of the social chameleon, the first sign of a person without character that we will explore. The social chameleon is that individual who, like the imaginary flower, changes its colors and shapes according to the company and circumstances. They don't have a stable core of beliefs or values. Instead, their opinions, tastes, and even principles seem fluid, adapting to the environment to gain approval, attention, or advantage. Adaptability is not inherently negative. In fact, it's a valuable human quality that allows us to navigate various situations in life with grace and resilience. However, when this adaptability turns into manipulation, we lose something fundamentally human: authenticity. Let's consider, for example, the co-worker who, in the presence of the boss, is all smiles and agreements, but behind their back criticizes the same ideas they supported moments earlier, or the friend who seems to completely transform depending on the group they are with, adopting tastes, opinions, and even mannerisms that are not genuinely theirs just to fit in. This behavior can be tempting. We all want to be accepted and loved, and sometimes it seems easier to simply mirror what others want from us. However, this is a trap that compromises our integrity. By abandoning our true colors, we become just a reflection of others, losing our essence and the chance to genuinely connect with those around us. Stoicism, a philosophy of life that emphasizes virtue, wisdom, and authenticity, offers us a compass in this sea of uncertainties. The Stoics teach us that the most important thing is not external approval, but living according to our nature and principles. They advocate the importance of being true to ourselves and to others, even when it means being in disagreement. True human connection, the kind that touches the deepest strings of our hearts, is born from authenticity. When we are true in our words, actions, and feelings, we create a safe space for others to be as well. This is the fertile ground where deep and meaningful relationships grow. Therefore, the next time you find yourself adjusting your colors to fit into someone else's garden, remember the invaluable worth of your own flower. Your unique shapes and fragrances are gifts to the world, and it's only by being faithful to them that you will find those who truly resonate with you. In this vast and diverse world, there is room for all flowers to bloom in their authenticity, and it is in this space that we find the truest, deepest, and most enduring connections. Now let's talk about the second sign, which is the puppet of compliments. Imagine walking through a vibrant fair where street performers showcase their unique talents on every corner. Among them, there's a ventriloquist whose special talent isn't in throwing his voice, but in becoming the puppet of any spectator who throws him a compliment. This artist, despite his talent, shapes his performance to reflect the desires and applause of the crowd, losing his essence in the process. He is the puppet of compliments, the second sign of a person without character that we will explore now. The puppet of compliments lives for external approval. His value, his identity, seems entirely dependent on the praise and validation he receives from others. Like the ventriloquist in our analogy, he adjusts his opinions, interests, and even his dreams based on what he believes will earn him the most applause and admiration. There is a danger in this incessant pursuit of external approval. It distances us from who we truly are. Our focus is constantly on what others think or feel about us, risking losing ourselves in the crowd and forgetting our own passions, beliefs, and values. Consider, for example, the young person who chooses a career not based on their own passions or talents, but on what they believe will impress their family or friends the most. Or the person who, on social media, bends to trends and popular opinions, hiding their true beliefs for fear of disapproval. This behavior not only distances us from our true selves, but also weakens our relationships. After all, connections based on a fabricated version of ourselves are fragile and superficial. They lack the solidity and depth that come from authentic interactions, where we are valued for our true qualities and not for a carefully constructed persona. Stoic wisdom offers a refreshing perspective on this dilemma. It encourages us to seek internal approval rather than external, to find value in our own opinions and judgments. Stoics believe that true freedom and happiness come from knowing and being true to oneself, regardless of the applause or boos from life's audience. They remind us that, although it is natural to desire to be appreciated and valued by others, our self-esteem and worth should not depend on it. Instead, we should cultivate an internal fortress that allows us to remain firm in our convictions and authentic in our expressions, even when this does not immediately earn us the approval of others. By freeing ourselves from the need for external validation, we make room to cultivate genuine and meaningful relationships, based on mutual respect and admiration for each other's authentic qualities. This is the soil where true friendships flourish and deep relationships take root. Therefore, as you walk through the fair of life, remember that you are the main artist of your own performance, not a puppet moved by the audience's compliments, but an authentic artist whose intrinsic value does not depend on applause, but on the authenticity and truth with which you present yourself to the world. Let's move on to the next one. Do you know the master of excuses? Imagine a sunny afternoon as you stroll through a park and observe children playing. One of them, trying to climb a tree, falls. Immediately she gets up, brushes off her slightly scratched knee, and with determination tries again, learning from the mistake and adjusting her approach. This simple yet powerful scene starkly contrasts with the nature of the master of excuses, the third sign we will explore now. The master of excuses is the one who, when faced with challenges, obstacles, or even failures in his actions, immediately resorts to excuses instead of taking responsibility. He seeks external reasons, circumstances, or the actions of others to justify his inadequacies or mistakes, instead of learning from failure. Like the child in the park, he could learn and adjust, but chooses to mask the failure with justifications, missing the opportunity to grow and evolve. This behavior is seductively comfortable. Admitting failures and confronting our own imperfections requires courage and humility, two qualities that demand deep and continuous inner work. The master of excuses, however, chooses the path of least resistance, creating a labyrinth of justifications that distance him further from the truth and self-development. Imagine, for example, the student who, upon receiving a low grade, blames the teacher for not explaining the subject well, instead of recognizing his own lack of study. Or the employee who, missing an important deadline, attributes the failure to alleged communication failures of the team, ignoring his own procrastination. These excuses, while they may offer temporary relief, are invisible chains that bind us to a cycle of stagnation. They prevent us from facing the reality of our limitations, essential for our personal and professional growth. Instead of strengthening our character, they dilute it, compromising our integrity and our ability to build relationships based on trust and mutual respect. Stoic philosophy, with its emphasis on virtue, wisdom, and self-sufficiency, offers an antidote to this poison. It encourages us to face failures and challenges not as misfortunes, but as opportunities for learning and strengthening character. For the Stoics, taking responsibility for our actions and their consequences is the first step on the path to virtue. They remind us that while we cannot control external events, we have complete control over our responses to them. Thus, when faced with error or failure, we have the option of resorting to excuses or confronting the situation with honesty, learning from it, and growing in the process. This path is not easy. It requires courageous introspection and a commitment to the truth, even when it is uncomfortable. However, it is also a path of liberation. By freeing ourselves from excuses and taking responsibility for our lives, we gain not only the respect of others, but more importantly, our own respect. Each moment of failure, each mistake, if approached with this mindset, transforms into a step on the ladder of our personal development. Like the child in the park, we learn not only to climb trees, but to scale the mountains of our internal and external challenges, strengthened by unwavering integrity and character. Therefore, the next time you find yourself on the verge of making an excuse, remember the child in the park. Remember the strength that resides in honesty and responsibility. Choose to be the master of your life, not of excuses. This is the path to more authentic relationships, to a stronger self, and to a world where character and integrity are not just aspirations, but lived realities every day. Sign 4. The Architect of Discord. Imagine yourself at an outdoor concert. Around you, people share smiles, swayed by the melody filling the air. There's an invisible connection, a harmonious thread linking every individual in that space, created by the music and the shared experience. Yet among the crowd, there is someone who, instead of being carried away by the music, chooses to whisper criticisms and negative comments into others' ears, seeking to unravel the unity previously established. This is the architect of discord, the character we explore now. The architect of discord is someone who seems to find pleasure and purpose in sowing conflicts and misunderstandings, even in previously peaceful environments. Like a stone thrown into a serene lake, their actions generate waves of discord that spread, disturbing the harmony that once prevailed. This behavior, far from being a mere personality trait, reveals a profound lack of character and respect for others. This person can be found in various contexts, from the workplace, where gossip and intrigues are their tools of choice, to family gatherings, where spiteful comments and unnecessary criticisms are used to provoke tension. The objective is often difficult to discern. It could be a quest for attention, a desire for control, or perhaps a way to divert attention from their own insecurities and failures. Despite what it might seem, the actions of the architect of discord are not insignificant. They have the power to destroy relationships, undermine trust, and erode the cohesion of groups and communities. Like a virus, the discord they spread can infect hearts and minds, leading to misunderstandings and resentments that can last for years or even generations. Stoic wisdom offers a valuable perspective on how to deal with such individuals. First, it reminds us of the importance of attention and intention. We must be attentive to the intentions behind the words and actions of the people around us, seeking to understand their true motives. At the same time, we must refine our own intentions, ensuring they are aligned with values of virtue, justice, and kindness. Stoics also value resilience and the ability to maintain inner serenity, even in the face of adversity. When confronted with the architect of discord, we are encouraged not to let their actions disturb our inner peace. This does not mean ignoring destructive behavior, but rather approaching it from a position of strength and balance without allowing ourselves to be dragged down to the same level of discord. Additionally, the Stoics teach us about the importance of forgiveness and compassion. Understanding that the behavior of the architect of discord often stems from their own pains and struggles can help us approach them with empathy, seeking solutions that promote healing instead of fueling the cycle of conflicts. As we face the architect of discord, let us remember that harmony and peace are values that must be actively cultivated. It is up to us to build bridges where others try to dig trenches, promote understanding where there is misunderstanding, and sow love where others plant discord. In this effort, we find not only true strength of character, but also the key to a more united and peaceful world. Sign 5. The Broken Mirror. On a tranquil morning, you come across an antique mirror in a shop. The surface, though stained by time, reflects not only your image, but also invites introspection and the inner gaze that seeks the truth about ourselves. This mirror, with its imperfections, offers a more honest view than many choose to see. In contrast to this image of reflection and self-knowledge, we have the broken mirror, the next sign of lack of character that we will discuss. The broken mirror symbolizes those who refuse to look at themselves honestly and recognize their own faults and mistakes. Like a mirror that, when broken, fails to offer a true reflection, these people avoid self-analysis and constructive self-criticism, preferring to maintain a distorted image of themselves, an image that denies their imperfections and flaws. This behavior manifests in various ways. It could be the person who, when faced with constructive feedback, immediately becomes defensive, rejecting any suggestion that there might be room for growth or improvement. Or the friend who, even when faced with clear evidence of a mistake made, chooses to blame circumstances or others, unable to admit their part in the situation. Refusing to face the truth about ourselves not only prevents us from growing and evolving, but also erodes our relationships with others. Authenticity and vulnerability are the foundations of deep and meaningful human connections. By refusing to be vulnerable, by rejecting the opportunity to learn from our mistakes and develop, we lose the chance to build relationships based on trust, mutual respect, and understanding. Stoic wisdom teaches us that self-examination is essential for character development. The Stoics see each day as an opportunity to evaluate ourselves, to reflect on the day's actions and how they align with the ideals of virtue and integrity. This process of reflection is not an exercise in self-flagellation, but a practice of honesty with oneself, a path to continuous improvement. The mirror, even broken, offers valuable lessons. It reminds us that perfection is an illusion and that personal growth arises from our ability to accept and work on our imperfections. Facing our reflections with all their flaws and beauties requires courage. But it is in this act of courage that we find the true strength and authenticity that allows us to form genuine and lasting bonds with those around us. Therefore, when faced with the challenge of looking into the broken mirror within us, let us choose to embrace this opportunity. Let us strive to mend what is within our reach, not with the goal of creating a perfect image, but of reflecting a more integral, authentic, and truly human version of ourselves. This is the path not only to self-improvement, but also to building a world where relationships are based on mutual respect, understanding, and genuine acceptance of the imperfections that make us uniquely human. Sign 6. The Energy Thief. In a world filled with light and shadow, each person we encounter has the ability to significantly affect our energy. Imagine walking through a dense forest where sunlight struggles to make its presence felt through the leaves. At one moment, you find yourself in a sunlit clearing where energy and life seem to flourish. However, as you move forward, you enter areas where shadows prevail and the atmosphere becomes dense, almost draining the energy from your being. This contrast aptly illustrates the impact of the energy thief, the next sign of a person without character that we will examine. The energy thief is someone whose presence seems to drain the vitality around them, not by circumstance or chance, but by a constant tendency to emit negativity, pessimism, and toxicity. Their words and actions, often filled with destructive criticism, incessant complaints, and a bleak outlook on life, act like a veil that obscures the light, leaving a trail of discouragement and exhaustion. This behavior can manifest in various ways, be it the coworker who sees flaws in every proposal, discouraging new ideas before they are even explored, or the friend who, unable to rejoice in others' achievements, insists on highlighting adversities, undermining joy and hope. The impact of the energy thief is not limited to momentary exhaustion. It can have lasting effects on our emotional and even physical well-being. As social beings, we are sensitive to the emotional environment around us. Constant exposure to this negativity can alter our own perception of reality, leading to feelings of hopelessness and demotivation. Stoic wisdom offers valuable tools for navigating these challenging interactions. Firstly, it teaches us about the importance of inner strength and resilience, the ability to maintain our inner serenity and positivity regardless of external circumstances. The Stoics believe that it is not events themselves that affect us, but our interpretation of these events. Thus, in the face of the energy thief, we have the option to adjust our perception, choosing to see the situation in a different light, one that empowers rather than diminishes us. Additionally, the Stoics value empathy and understanding, recognizing that the negativity expressed by these people is often a reflection of their own internal struggles. With this in mind, we can approach the energy thief not with judgment or irritation, but with compassion and a genuine desire to help, whether by offering a listening ear, encouraging words, or simply our calm and positive presence. However, Stoic philosophy also recognizes the importance of setting healthy boundaries. At times, the best way to protect our energy and well-being may be to limit our exposure to individuals and situations that consistently drain our vitality. This is not an act of rejection, but a recognition of our own capacity and responsibility to take care of our emotional and physical well-being. As we deal with the energy thief, let us remember that while we cannot control the actions and attitudes of others, we have complete control over how we choose to respond to them. With resilience, compassion, and healthy boundaries, we can preserve our inner light, remaining steadfast on the path of personal growth and positivity, even in the face of shadows. Sign 7. The Manipulator of Truths. Imagine yourself in an art gallery filled with mirrors. Each piece reflects reality from a unique angle, twisting and shaping the image in ways that challenge perception. As you walk through this gallery, you realize that although the reflections offer fascinating views, they also distort the truth in subtle and sometimes not so subtle ways. This gallery symbolizes the world of the Manipulator of Truths, the seventh sign of a person without character. The Manipulator of Truths is someone who, like the mirrors in the gallery, distorts reality to serve their own interests, whether through small everyday lies or more significant deceptions. This individual sees truth as something malleable, a tool to be used to their advantage, regardless of the impact it may have on others around them. This behavior can manifest in various ways. The person who exaggerates their achievements to impress others, who omits crucial information to avoid consequences, or who creates complete falsehoods to gain an advantage in a situation. Regardless of the form, the effect is the same: an erosion of trust and the fabric of interpersonal relationships. Manipulating the truth creates an unstable ground where trust becomes difficult, if not impossible, to build. Relationships, whether in personal, professional, or social spheres, flourish on the solid foundation of honesty and transparency. When this foundation is compromised, what remains is a minefield of uncertainties and doubts. Stoic wisdom teaches us that the virtue of honesty is one of the pillars of a well-lived life. The Stoics believe that truth, even when difficult or challenging, has intrinsic value that transcends the temporary advantages that lies or manipulation may offer. They encourage us to practice honesty not just as an ethical duty to others, but as a commitment to ourselves and the kind of person we aspire to be. Facing a manipulator of truths requires discernment and strength of character. It is essential to remain anchored in our integrity, resisting the temptation to play the game of manipulation. Additionally, it is important to cultivate an environment where truth is valued and encouraged, creating a safe space for honesty to flourish. When confronted with the manipulation of truth, we have the opportunity to reflect on the value of honesty in our own lives. Every choice we make, whether to speak the truth or to deviate from it, shapes the world around us and defines the legacy we leave behind. Choosing truth, even when it puts us in a vulnerable position, is a testament to our strength and our commitment to a more authentic and trustworthy world. Therefore, as you walk through the gallery of truth manipulators, remember that the true masterpiece is a life lived with integrity, a life where truth is the brush with which we paint the canvas of our existence. In a world full of distortions, being a person of truth is the most beautiful and challenging of creative acts. Sign 8. The King of the Mountain. Imagine observing a majestic mountain under the blue sky. Around it, individuals begin their ascent, each with their own pace, tools, and strategies. Among them, there is a figure that stands out, not for their skill or determination, but for their willingness to push others down in their frantic pursuit to reach the top. This is the King of the Mountain, the personification of the last sign of a person without character that we will explore. The King of the Mountain sees life as an endless competition, where success can only be achieved at the expense of others. To him, relationships are not avenues for connection and mutual growth, but tools to be used and discarded in the personal climb to power and supremacy. His logic is that of a zero-sum game. For him to win, others must lose. This mentality not only corrupts his own character, but also poisons the relationships and environments he passes through. The unbridled pursuit of power and recognition, without consideration for ethical values or the well-being of others, leads to a destructive cycle of manipulation, betrayal, and isolation. In the end, the King of the Mountain may reach the top, but he will find himself alone, surrounded not by genuine respect and admiration, but by the resentment and distrust of those who were harmed in his ascent. Stoic wisdom offers a powerful antidote to the temptation of the King of the Mountain. The Stoics remind us that true greatness does not lie in power over others, but in mastery over oneself. Virtue, justice, and wisdom are the true metrics of success, values that do not diminish when shared, but instead multiply, enriching everyone around. The Stoics also encourage us to see others not as adversaries in a battle for supremacy, but as companions on a shared journey of growth and discovery. Instead of pushing others down, we should extend a hand, helping and being helped in the climb up the mountains of life. This approach not only builds a strong and respectable character, but also cultivates deep and meaningful relationships based on mutual respect, compassion, and collaboration. Facing the nature of the King of the Mountain within ourselves and in others requires courage, introspection, and an unwavering commitment to higher principles. By choosing the path of virtue, cooperation, and respect, we tread a path that not only elevates us, but also those around us, creating a legacy of integrity and positive contribution. Therefore, as we reflect on the King of the Mountain and the other signs of a person without character, we are invited to examine our own choices and behaviors. What kind of person do we want to be? How do we want to be remembered? The true victory in the climb of life is not measured by the altitude reached, but by the depth of our character and the quality of the relationships we build along the way. By choosing virtue over power, collaboration over competition, we can all reach a much more rewarding peak, where the view is enriched by the company of those who walk by our side. If you've made it this far, it shows you have a Stoic spirit. So, type character in the comments. This way we build a Stoic community in search of truth and purpose. Take care, see you next time.